Adam's Curse by WB Yeats. We sat together at one summer's end, that beautiful, mild woman, your close friend, and you, and I, and talked of poetry. I said, a line will take us hours maybe, yet, if it does not seem a moment's thought, our stitching and unstitching has been naught. Better go down upon your marrow bones and scrub a kitchen pavement, or break stones like an old pauper, in all kinds of weather. For to articulate sweet sounds together is to work harder than all these. And yet, be thought idler by the noisy set of bankers, schoolmasters, and clergymen the martyrs call the world. And thereupon, that beautiful mild woman for whose sake there's many a one shall find all out heartache on finding that her voice is sweet and low replied, to be born woman is to know, although they do not talk of it at school, that we must labor to be beautiful. I said, it's certain there is no fine thing since Adam's fall but needs much laboring. There have been lovers who thought love should be so much compounded of high courtesy that they would sigh and quote with learned looks precedents out of beautiful old books, and yet now it seems an idle trade enough. We sat grown quiet at the name of love. We saw the last embers of daylight die, and in the trembling blue-green of the sky, a moon, worn as if it had been a shell washed by time's waters as they rose and fell about the stars and broke in days and years. I had a thought for no one's but your ears, that you were beautiful, and that I strove to love you in the old high way of love, that it had all seemed happy, and yet we'd grown as weary-hearted as that hollow moon. A Man Young and Old, The Mermaid, by WB Yeats. A mermaid found a swimming lad, picked him for her own, pressed her body to his body, laughed, and plunging down forgot in cruel happiness that even lovers drown. Fergus and the Druid, by WB Yeats.
The whole day have I followed in the rocks, and you have charged and flowed from shape to shape. First as raven on whose ancient wings scarcely a feather lingered. Then you seemed a weasel moving on from stone to stone, and now at last you wear a human shape, a thin grey man half lost in gathering night.
What would you, king of the proud red branch kings?
This would I say, most wise of living souls. Young subtle Concubar sat close by me when I gave judgment, and his words were wise. And what to me was burden without end, to him seemed easy, so I laid the crown upon his head to cast away my sorrow.
What would you, king of the proud red branch kings?
A king and proud, and that is my despair. I feast amid my people on the hill, and pace the woods, and drive my chariot wheels in the white border of the murmuring sea. And still I feel the crown upon my head.
What would you, Fergus?
Be no more a king, but learn the dreaming wisdom that is yours.
Look on my thin grey hair and hollow cheeks, and on these hands that may not lift a sword, this body trembling like a wind-blown reed. No woman's loved me, no man sought my help.
A king is but a foolish laborer who wastes his blood to be another's dream.
Take, if you must, this little bag of dreams, unloose the cord, and they will wrap you round.
I see my life go drifting like a river, from change to change. I have been many things. A green drop in the surge, a gleam of light upon a sword, a fir tree on a hill, an old slave grinding at a heavy quern, a king sitting upon a chair of gold. And all these things were wonderful and great, but now I have grown nothing, knowing all. Ah, Druid, Druid, how great webs of sorrow lay hidden in the small slate-colored thing.
Thank you for listening to my renditions of these 3 poems by William Butler Yeats. The fun Irish pub sounds you hear behind these narrations come from freesound.org. User Traggledy created this sound. It is being used under Creative Commons CC 0 Universal Public Domain Dedication License. Thank you for sticking around for this non-standard episode. We'll be back with a more regular episode of Prose next week. Additionally, keep your eyes peeled for the changes to prospodcast.com and follow along in the podcast's misadventures on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, go out and make a few new epic stories of your own.